Conversations with Azu Ishekwene.
Have you watched Idris Abdul Karim's latest single video titled Tell Your Papa?
Tell your papa, tell your papa, country hard.
It has been banned by the Nigerian Broadcasting Commission, but it is out there gigging and trending on social media. And talking about social media, is it becoming a battleground for ordinary citizens like you and I and the siblings of politically exposed persons who are engaging themselves in manners that are, to say the least, unspeakable? Join us on this episode of Conversation with Azu, our weekly diary on life and politics, as I bring you the topic, Do Children of Politicians in Power Make Sense? As written by Azu Ishekwene, the award-winning columnist, who is joining me live on Zoom from a beachside in Lagos. Hello, Azu.
Indeed. It's my pleasure to join you again today, Julius. Thanks for having me.
How is Lagos today?
It's quite humid. It's quite humid.
All right, so we just dive straight to the topic of discussion. And I would like to ask, the brawls of children of politically exposed people and newsworthy people on social media, does it enhance or does it retard the chances of the people they are defending, the political fortunes of their parents, in respect to the exchanges that they make?
I think a straightforward answer to your question would be, it depends. But let me sort of provide some context to the question you have asked. And that is to say that keep in mind that social media has become an important sphere of engagement today. Nigeria's population comprises about 65% people who are young, who are, relatively young people. So, and this is their playground, okay? So it is not essentially a bad thing in itself that they are engaged in expressing themselves through the platform that they are comfortable to express themselves in. I think the matter of concern in many circles is how they are doing this. So social media is in and of itself not a bad thing, but how we use it, that's the sort of conversation I think that is worth having.
Well, older people would think that this playground is becoming a dangerous one. For instance, the Sultan of Sokoto a few days back was quoted to have said that the social media is becoming a weapon of terror. Do you agree with this view?
No, but you must understand the Sultan and the generation that is coming from. In today's balance, the Sultan would be described as a digital immigrant. So, and it's not a familiar at all.
Digital alien.
As a digital alien. This is not a familiar at all for the Sultan and his generation. So I can understand his alarm about the use or misuse, if you like, of social media. But I don't think it's a one-sided debate. It has its extremely beneficial uses. And a lot of the things that we are, including this conversation that we are having, some years ago, it would just have been impossible for us to have this conversation. If the modern forms of communication that we have today, from which social media derives, did not exist. So as I said in my answer to the first question you asked me, I don't think that it's the tool itself that is the problem, but the uses to which we deploy it.
Oh, and you gave an example in your article. Yeah, you referenced the children of former president, military president Ibrahim Babangida,
Correct.
and those of late MKO Abiola. They never engaged publicly in brawls, given what transpired between their parents that have become a significant footnote in Nigeria's history. Do you think it was down to good breeding or the absence of social media, as it were?
Well, I think it's a combination of several factors, and one would need some scientific basis to make a definite call on what might have been responsible for that. But I think it's fair to say that had social media been as prevalent at that time as it is today. You never know. You never know the extent to which the Abiolas or the Babangidas took their story, because the vehicle for expression at that time, the forms and media through which people express themselves were more limited in scope, than what we have today. So I don't know, perhaps if you had another June 12th today, I do not know whether the reaction of the dramatics personnel would be the same as it was in 1993. But I doubt it very much. I doubt it very much.
There has been still on the same train. There was a fight back, sort of, from Abacha's children.
Oh yes,
after
yes.
the public presentation of Babangida's book. And Babangida's children have made no input to it. Again, is this due to breeding or?
No, I think it. Now you see, when I refer to breeding in my piece, it can be one of two ways. I mean, it's a value judgment. When you say somebody has been properly or improperly bred, that's actually a value judgment. As you said in the reference to Abacha's, the Abachas, for example, their response to Babangida's book, which they felt was unfair to their father. They actually took social media to respond. Well, yes, you are right that the Babangidas did not respond to it, but I do not think, I'm very hesitant to attribute that to proper or improper breeding. It may just be that they didn't think it was worth their while or worth their time to respond by social media. Or perhaps they have other people on their payroll who perhaps they responded by proxy. It's difficult to say.
You just said that, and it's a fact, it's just not a statement you made. So you cited the fact that over 65% of Nigeria's population is youthful.
Yes.
And this constitutes the majority of the social media traffic and audience.
Yes, that's
and
correct.
Players, as it were. And now this threshold, this segment of the population tends to wear their emotions on their sleeves.
Correct.
Is it time there should be some sort of control on social media?
No, I'm not one to suggest a sort of legislation to ban use. I mean, like you said in your earlier conversation about when you actually ban things, and we had limited experience with what happened with Twitter when Buhari's government claimed that people will improvise means of undercutting it, and then you actually drive such voices on the ground, which is not good for the system. It's not healthy for the system. I think that there is significant pressure on big tech, to be more responsible in how some of these major platforms are used to propagate falsehood and malicious information, or things that could be injurious to children or vulnerable groups, or can outright inflame war, and things like that. And perhaps if, and some of those pressures are bearing off in jurisdictions, especially in Europe and in America, where people take some of those things a bit more seriously. But to suggest that you hand over the control of social media to politicians to legislate, I definitely would not support that.
All right. For more on this, you visit our column at azuishekwene.com and find the details there. Before I let you go, Azu, what is the final stages of the preparations towards the book reading?
Oh, yes.
On the 22nd of April in Lagos.
Thank you very much for that. Yes, so it's the third book reading, and as you said, I'll be having the third reading of my book, Writing for Media and Monetizing It, on Tuesday, the 22nd of April, 2025, 1 p.m. at the Tayo Aderinokun Hall, the University of Lagos, my alma mater. So directly to your question about preparations, it's one of the reasons I'm in Lagos. I'm already getting indications from the school and from the hall. I'm also getting extremely exciting and amazing feedback from folks, that I've invited. Folks are looking forward to be there on Tuesday, the 22nd. And I hope you'll be able to join us virtually. But I'd say that anyone around the Lagos area who's able to come should meet us there. We look forward excitingly to meeting everyone. And I look forward to welcoming you personally on the day.
Yeah, you can get subscription. You can subscribe to copies of that book on Lulu and Seller at azuishekwene.com. So you need a copy of it because we're talking about social media and it teaches you how to monetize content. Thank you for coming on the show, Azu.
Thanks for having me, Julius. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Conversations with Azu Ishekwene.